Good afternoon. I hope you already read the interview disclaimer. But before we start, may I ask you where you're from?
I'm from Kiribati.
Okay. Question one. Can you tell us about how tourism has impacted your community?
Tourism has had a significant impact on our community in Kiribati. It has brought economic opportunities through job creation and the sale of local goods and services to visitors. However, it has also put pressure on our fragile ecosystems and traditional way of life.
Question two. How has tourism helped people in your community make money?
Tourism has provided alternative sources of income for people in our community, particularly through jobs in hospitality, tour guiding, and handicraft production. Many locals have started small businesses catering to tourists, which has helped alleviate poverty in some areas.
Question three. Have you noticed any changes in traditions or customs because of tourism? Please describe these changes.
Yes, we have noticed some changes in our traditions and customs due to tourism. For example, with more tourists visiting our highlands, there has been a shift in the way some traditional ceremonies and rituals are performed. Some of these rituals have been modified to cater to the preferences of tourists, which has led to a blending of traditional practices with more commercialized elements. Additionally, there has been an increase in the adoption of Western clothing and behaviors among younger generations, influenced by interactions with tourists. Overall, tourism has brought about changes in how we express and preserve our cultural identity.
Question 4. What initiatives benefit local communities through tourism?
Initiatives such as community based tourism projects have benefited local communities in Kiribati by involving them directly in tourism activities. This ensures that the economic benefits of tourism are shared more equitably among community members.
Question 5. How important is community involvement and consultation in decision making processes related to tourism development?
Community involvement and consultation are vital in decision-making process related to tourism development in Kiribati. It ensures that the needs and concerns of locals are considered, leading to more sustainable and inclusive tourism practices.
For question 6, have you observed any negative effects of tourism on your rural community? If so, could you describe them?
Yes, we have observed negative effects of tourism on our rural community. One major issue is the strain on our natural resources, such as water and land, due to increased tourist activities. This has led to environmental degradation and loss of biodiversity in some areas. Additionally, there has been a rise in prices for basic goods and services, making it more difficult for local residents to afford their everyday needs. Furthermore, there has been an influx of outside influence, which has sometimes disrupted our traditional way of life and cultural practices. Overall, while tourism brings economic benefits, it also presents challenges that need to be addressed for well-being of our community.
For question 7, from your perspective, what steps can be taken to mitigate the negative impacts of tourism on rural Fiji?
To mitigate the negative impacts of tourism in Kiribati, we need to focus on sustainable practices such as protecting the environment, supporting local communities, and preserving cultural heritage. This requires collaboration between government agencies, local communities, and tourism stakeholders.
For question 8, in what ways has tourism influenced local infrastructure and public services in your local community?
Tourism has influenced local infrastructure and public services in Kiribati by increasing demand for facilities such as transportation, accommodation, and waste management. However, inadequate infrastructure can strain resources and lead to environmental degradation if not managed properly.
For question 9, have there been instances where conflicts arose between residents and tourists? If so, how were they handled?
Conflicts between residents and tourists have arisen in Kiribati, particularly around issues such as waste management, cultural sensitivity, and access to natural resources. These conflicts require effective communication and conflict resolution strategies to address.
For question 10, how do you envision sustainable practice contributing to the future growth and prosperity of the rural tourism in Fiji?
Embracing sustainable practices is essential for the future growth and prosperity of rural tourism in Kiribati. By protecting the environment, supporting local communities, and preserving cultural heritage, we can ensure that tourism benefits both present and future generations in our country.
Okay, thank you very much for your time and insight. Before we conclude, is there anything else you would like to share about your experience or thoughts regarding the rural tourism and its effect on rural communities?
No,
Okay, thank you so much again for your time.
thank you for allowing me to share my insight on this topic as it relates to Kiribati.